even though her nickname is Tehya Monster. Tehya Monster. She's actually the runt of the litter, but she's quite powerful and she's very, very fast. She is our fastest. And to all the others' dismay, they can't catch her. When we go running out in the land, they can't catch her. She gets those ears down and she flies. There's some pictures on our Facebook page too. And the name of the picture is Tehya Flying, because you can't even see her. She's like a bullet train. Yeah, and then they run after her and they can't catch her and they're all mad and she's like, yay! One of the reasons we call her Tehya Monster is she doesn't have the highest pack ranking as a female. And she doesn't like that at all. This is much to her dismay. She might be the fastest, but she's not the most important, which she would like to be. Yes, I know. I know. Good morning. I know, it's Eddie. I know. I was watching a film because we were doing more of our web series, Freedom of the Pack, yesterday, and I had to do some research about it. And what they call when the wolves start to roam and spread out, they call it dispersal. This dispersal process, and this is how the wolves and other predators actually populate and go to different territories. And the wolves are really being quite impressive on that level. Now bears will do it too, and cats will do it as well. But as I was preparing for this talk, I was like, people do that too. We went everywhere. We covered the entire globe. We weren't in the entire globe at one point, but there must be something in us. And the scientist that was talking about it said there's something in us that makes us travel, to lead, to find, to go on an adventure and start our own thing. Start our own thing. And as these predators disperse, and especially as the wolves disperse, they start to heal. They start to change the environment that they're in, which is one of the purposes of rewilding them and letting them disperse to their natural territories. One of the reasons I chose Tehya too is that if she could, she would disperse from us. But we're responsible for her. She would be the one to go out on her own adventures. Now I've got freedom here too, because all the girls are in heat right now. So, he's been relegated to the leash. Too much freedom? Too much freedom. Too much freedom for freedom around the ladies. Yes. But he too might be one of the ones, because he's never going to take Dakota's place unless Dakota passes. So these two would be in the wild, the ones that would go out on their own adventure, start their own thing, and change the environment and change the world to which they are actually roaming to. And for people right now, just like Journey, OR7, I don't know if you know about this wolf, but it was a wolf that was born and collared near the Idaho border. And then in 2011, went thousands of miles down into Oregon and then took a trip into California. And so what that did was it changed the way we're going to have to embrace or not embrace, or what kind of policies that we're going to have about wolves coming to that area, because that one wolf changed the landscape completely. And then we have to change our mindset. So whenever you travel to another place, whenever you go on your divine purpose, your divine adventure, you change the world wherever you go. Whether you lay down roots and then you get married and then you find a mate like they would do, and then you have puppies. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? So the name of my talk today is called Change the World. Because we do that wherever we go. Even if you stay where you are and you just raise your family and this is where your roots are, whatever you bring into this world, whatever you contribute to, is changing the world as we know it. William Shakespeare said this, and it's my favorite quote of all time and all of Shakespeare, and it's from Romeo and Juliet. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore, washed with the farthest sea. I would adventure for such mercy. Now he was talking about Juliet, and I'm talking about your heart's desires. How far would you go? How far are you willing to go? Where are you going? So let's start our meditative prayer with that idea. So for those of you who haven't been here before, it's not necessarily meditation, but wherever you are in your chair right now, like a chair holder. You don't have to hold on to yourself. You got here, you're on time. You didn't miss anything. Exhale into that chair and let it hold you. And Mother Earth, what it's sitting on, and the gravity will take care of the rest. You cannot fall. You cannot fall. And know this is we are made of such stuff, that it is our Creator, and that every living thing, everything known and unknown, everything seen and unseen, is made of and we are one with this presence, with everything living and alive. And as such, I know and I claim for each and every one of you, whatever is moving you forward, whatever is moving you to do, to embrace, to love, set your feet in that direction and trust that inside of you is the wisdom to know the right path to take when there's a fork in the road, the right direction, the adventure of your life, because you are one and only one in kind. Part of this whole path we call the world and civilization. And so I claim for you the highest good. I claim for you your heart's desires being met before you even asked. Because you are here to serve a divine purpose, and that divine purpose is being met. And so I say, whatever it is that you came here for today, that it fills your heart with the purpose of your life, with the feelings that you need and the inspiration to be exactly who you are right here in this moment. Knowing that you are perfect, whole, and complete right now. And so I say thank you for this knowledge. Thank you for this knowing. Thank you for the gifts of all the good that came before, the good that is here now, and the good that is coming. and release it knowing that it is done, that the universe, the laws of the universe, the law of love, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect is all working and conspiring in your favor. And we can all say, and so it is. Amen. Namaste. Oh. In whatever language, that solidifies that for you. So, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Raise your hand! Yay! That's Apple Incorporated. Ah! Wow! Now sometimes, if you're not connected to your heart and your heart's desires, then things don't work out so well in your adventures. If you get caught up in being afraid of it not working, or I have to do this in order to pay that bill, or I landed here and I'm stuck, you know. And if you think about how we traversed, you know, I mean, imagine the initial Native Americans trying to traverse, you know, the climate just to get to a place where they can feed themselves, where they could survive. You know, and that was every living creature at that point. You know, to, you know, discovering the ocean blue, that the world is not flat, that it's round. You know, getting to the moon, for heaven's sakes. But I'm going to ask Tommy, Tommy Locks is going to come up. We're going to sing a song about what it was like for the gold rush, you know, the discovery of, you know, this land and what brought us here. And sometimes our adventures don't necessarily work out the way we thought they were going to. And you're taking a risk always. You know, life is a risk. But Amelia Earhart would probably not be so upset. We maybe think it's a tragedy to her. Her life is not a tragedy because she was where she wanted to be until she took her next journey. And so you have to think of it in that way, that we are traversing and coming together, and we are moving in a direction that may hurt us sometimes, but it changes our world every single moment. And then when we change, our world changes, and then the world changes too. So this is a song. I gotta get set up too. This is a song called Fire on the Mountain. And,
I didn't write this one. It's Marshall Tucker.
Yay,
Marshall Tucker. Yay. And just so you know, this is the ongoing adventure of Tommy and I finding music again in our lives. And we are going on this adventure together.
Carolina home, had dreams about the West End, started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say it was at the end, so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, golden hills, and it's waiting for me there. Satan was a star, and there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air. Go up them hills and it's waiting for me there. Dance hall girls were the evening treat, and carts and blood line the gutters of the street. Men were shot down for the sake of fun, or just to hear the noise of that 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air. Go on them hills and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man she couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame. All for a use and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air. Go on them hills and it's waiting for me there. Fire on the mountain, lightning in the air. Go on them hills and it's waiting for me there.
So, scary adventures. Adventures are scary sometimes. Dr. Seuss says this: I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. Fantasy is a necessary ingredient for living. How many people have gotten in trouble for daydreaming? Oh yeah, I know. Gosh, if only a teacher would say, will you share?
Yeah.
Would you share? You know, J.K. Rowling, the woman who wrote all of the Harry Potter novels, yes. She was constantly in trouble in the principal's office for daydreaming. Yikes! You know? Pay attention!
Yeah.
Pay attention! What's on your mind? What's in there? What's in there? That's Dr. Seuss. We would have Cat in the Hat. It wouldn't exist. He also said this: don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Oh. You know? That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. You know? Sometimes that's really hard to do. To be grateful for the life that's happened to us, even when it hurts, even when it's sad, even when it's over, and something new is about to begin. Smile because it happened. You took on that adventure. There's no guarantees that anything will not change. In fact, they say that's the only constant that we can actually count on, that things will change. But instead of embracing it, we have these rules to make sure we can control everything. Now, I'm not up here telling you that I like anarchy and that everybody just gets to do whatever they want to do. Because part of the message is, if you're following your heart's desires and your desires are being met, you are going to be a loving, more open, more caring, compassionate person. And so we would not be hurting each other and ourselves. Why sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. That's Lewis Carroll from Alice in Wonderland. I didn't say it right, but I'll say it again. Why I've sometimes Why, sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. That's oh my gosh, you wouldn't even have an invention. Paul and I were mesmerized on Facebook yesterday because of did you see the car that turns into a plane?
No.
Oh my God, he did. Yeah, that's your future. That's your future. You're going to get to do that. You're going to get to drive that and fly that.
That's my dream.
Yes, I know. Pretty soon, we can all be pilots. And drivers. What kind of test is it for that? Oh, left turn. The way you drive. We have to have better teachers. No, literally, this car is the length of a car that will park anywhere and be able to take off and land at any airport. But it's got this great music behind it, and it's like this great innovative thing, and all of a sudden he touches a button and the wings, everything starts to change and envelop and become a plane.
And it's only $5,000.
Well, I don't know about that. But you know those future, you know, the Jetsons is all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know? All of a sudden we've got the Jetsons. For those of you who don't know, that's a cartoon that happened in my childhood. Somebody dreamed it. I knew that somebody like me when I was a kid would want to see it. And then it made us dream and fantasize about the possibilities and then create the technology that makes it happen. Oscar Wilde says, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Duh! Duh! Who else can you be but you? To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that's all. That's also Oscar Wilde. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes, I'm out of control at times and hard to handle. But if you can't handle my worst, then you sure as hell can't deserve me at my best. Marilyn Monroe. Seriously. There's a reason I'm married to that man.
Oops.
Oops. Well, no, because he's the first that I could say that about.
Whoa.
And I met him when I was 52. And I had a lot of loves before that time. But not love like that. Not that kind of acceptance. Not that kind of embracing of my whole self instead of just, well, I like that part, but that part's got, you know, I'm not dealing with that. Go fix that. Never mind, I'm going over here. Looking in that direction. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. If you're not taking on your own life adventure, if you are not in your heart moving in the direction of your dreams. What'd you find, Dave? Then you are standing for somebody else's ideology, you're standing for somebody else's religion, you're standing for somebody else's belief system, you're standing with others' fear of being themselves and who they are. There is no one belief system. There's your experience and there's my experience, and can we share it? And can I learn from your experience and you learn from my experience? Hopefully that's what I do here, you know? I don't have any answers. I have a lot of questions, and I have a lot of experience, but I don't have any answers other than the ancient wisdom that comes and I search for and I share and use in my life to stay as genuinely, authentically me as possible. Even if it's the ugly part. Even if it's the flawed part. Even if it's the hippie part. You know? And you can take that in a double way.
We're all hippies.
Lewis Carroll, this is part of Alice in Wonderland too. I just was gravitating to it this today with this talk. You used to be much more muchier. You've lost your muchness. I've done that in my life. I wasn't supposed to like hippies. Hippies were bad. Hippies were drug addict, lazy, you know what I mean? Did they change the world or what? Did they change the world we live in?
Yes, they did.
I couldn't be one then. You know? They changed the world for you and for any Vietnam vet or anybody who was there at the time and then was moving them towards the future at that time. And then having seen the war, you know what I mean? I'm talking to you specifically, but I don't know everybody else's history, but there are places and things that you have been and where you've been and where you have lost your muchness. And sometimes you didn't have a choice. Because there was no volunteering then. There was no, I'll go there. There was, you must go there. We say you have to. I can choose either to be a victim of the world or an adventurer in search of treasure. It's all a question of how I view my life. You know, so wherever you are in your life, wherever, in whatever mishaps and whatever you're thinking about yourself at this moment, it's all the way you look at it. If all of this has happened to you, do you know what I mean, to take you down, or this is just the next change to move you forward, keep you on track where your heart wants to take you. It feels the same, though, sometimes. Because it's scary to take that ride. It's scary to sit on that stool and put my mouth to a microphone so that you can actually hear me. You know, instead of standing up here offside and mouthing. So that I can participate, but you wouldn't necessarily, if I mess up, then you're not going to hear me. Sing out, Louise. Be the change that you wish to see in the world, Mahatma Gandhi. You be the change. You know, it doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. Can you imagine if that was your first date? So, what do you do for a living? What do you ache for? Who are you? Where's your heart taking you? I want to know if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest in me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk losing like a fool for love. For your dream. For the adventure of being alive. What are you willing to risk? You know, part of that song is selling everything we found just to stay alive. Who's been there? Who's been there? Yeah. All the hands went up. Been there. I gotta sell it. What can you give me? What can you give me? Life is an opportunity. Benefit from it. Life is beauty. Admire it. Life is a dream. Realize it. Life is a challenge. Meet it. Life is a game. Play it. Life is a promise. Fulfill it. Life is sorrow. overcome it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a struggle, accept it. Life is a tragedy, confront it. Life is an adventure, dare it. Life is luck, make it. Life is too precious, do not destroy it. Life is a life, fight for it. Mother Teresa. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You know that Capri I talked about several weeks ago? My birthday is June 5th. On June 4th, the car was packed and ready to go. I graduated high school because I had to do that ceremony. And that ceremony didn't mean as much to me as it did to my parents, but you know, you fulfill those desires too. But that cap and gown came off, and the morning I woke, I was in that car and headed to wherever I needed to go. I, like Tehya, was ready to go my first opportunity. I had prepared it in my mind. I had envisioned it in my mind. And so that thing that is innate, it's not just in the predators and the wolves and the bears and the lions and the migrating animals and the birds. It's in us. Sometimes it's in us to stay because this is where we belong, and then it's time in us to go if we need to go. That's moving us forward. And then you find and navigate the way it's all going to work. If I go over almost everything that's happened to me since I climbed in that car and drove down the road, if I said it in one way, my life would look like a disaster. I could write a book and you would think, oh my God, what a horrible life this woman had. But if I say it in another way, and I take myself from that day I climbed in that car and took on my life's adventure, I would end up here with a smile on my face and tears in my heart, moving myself with pride. And so everything that happened to me, tragic and non-tragic, and the tragedy that overrode the heart's desires at the time when I got stuck and couldn't move, all of it, depending on the way I look at it. And if I really tell the truth, I've lived quite an adventure in my life. And I think that I've changed my world, which then would change the world around me. Or at least I hope so. And I like to think, because I have intended so, that whatever step I take and whoever I'm with, that somebody is changed or better because I was here. But you have to intend that. I'm sure there are moments where people would disagree with me because I, like everybody else, am flawed and I lose my temper. And I can be cruel and I can be mean and I can be impatient and I can be all those things, but it is not who I am. It's not all of who I am. So I'm going to invite Tommy back again. This time it's a song that he wrote called Please, Please Me.
Okay, this song I wrote in like '87, and my wife and I used to sing it together. So I'm glad I got somebody to sing it with. Woke up this morning with voices in my head telling me we got to change the world. Listen to the warning, you could fix it instead.
I'm blaming all the little boys and girls.
I really couldn't fix it all by myself.
I'm gonna need a little help from you.
So I will never stand alone or sit upon the shelf.
'Cause people, we got so much work to do.
Please, please, please don't worry about me. Please, please, please don't forget about me. Ask you to help me, would you laugh in my face?
Tell me I've got better things to do.
Like working on the job that's right in front of my face.
I'd smile and say that's what I'm gonna do.
Please, please, please don't worry about me. Please, please, please don't forget about me. This morning, your voice is in my head,
Telling me we've got to change the world.
Telling me we've got to change the world. I am incapable of conceiving infinity, and yet I do not accept finity. I want this adventure that is the context of my life to go on without end. And Simone de Beauvoir. And I want to say it again. I am incapable of conceiving infinity, and yet I do not accept finity. I want this adventure that is the context of my life to go on without end. I wish that for you. I have to wish it for you as well. So, it always amazes me that you're here. And the faces that I see looking back at me and doing this. So, bless you for being here. Bless you for listening to me. If you were spiritually fed by any of this, we do this for the wolves, we do this for this place so that it has, so you can come here and I can share this message and you can hear it. So if you're spiritually fed, we in our hearts we really accept any financial or any kind of gifts that you want to give back to us. It all goes for the wolves and the benefit of promoting the healing in this planet and healing hearts, and that's what we're doing here. So I appreciate that. Let's end with a face of God. And for those of you who haven't been here before, there's some sign language, so while Paul's getting ready, I'll show you what it is. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. Tuck it in. You are a part of me. We're all one together. You are the face of God. So join me if you like.